administrator, and then setting up as project administrator, entering the names of all the trainers in the system. And so what we've done now is we're going to go forward and we're going to enter data into the system. Originally, part of the plan was to include user-defined fields as part of the setup, but we felt that it was getting a bit too complicated. And so what we would do is we would go forward and enter the standard data set into the system. When we've done that, during module number 6, we will go back and we will start looking at the whole question of user-defined fields. So for now, and for module 5, we're focusing mainly on the standard data fields that are being entered. Next week, we're going to concentrate on reports. But what I want you to do is I want us now to enter data into the system. Now, what I want to do is I'm not sure, Bill, how do we share screens on this now? Ah, yes, okay. I've got it. Let me go here. I hope you can all see my screen now. Okay. And then the SAVIX MIS training, module 4. Here we have it. And what I'm going to be looking at is I'm going to go back a little bit, and I'm going to be looking at the data entry forms. If you remember, we had data entry forms which look, pardon me, just a minute, I think I've gone too far. Here we are. We have data entry forms which look at, if you remember, there were 3 types of data that we talked about. Can anybody tell me what the first type of data, what do we call the first type of data? The one you see on your screen now. Anybody can tell me?
That is the static data?
That's right, Sabina. It's the static data. Why do we call it static?
Because they are usual constant, they can't change.
They can't change once you've collected it for one time, okay? So the name of the group, the person who trained the group, and the date of first training, and the number of members at creation. What did I tell you about latitude and longitude? GPS data. What did I say? What did I advise you about that?
I think you say that that's not very, very important unless you have to do it.
It may be important to you, but we don't recommend that you do it using paper forms, because that means you have to have a separate GPS device. I was saying to you that if you move over to using the handheld, what do I call it, the mobile phone application, latitude and longitude is integrated into that, so you don't have to type in the numbers with the risk that you'd make some mistakes. But you'll notice it's optional, so you don't have to do it. And we don't recommend that you do it for when you're writing data into data collection form. Right, then we went on to the next part of the data. And if you can, somebody tell me, after the static data, what is the next data?
Cycle data?
Yes, Kingdom, cycle data. And now, how often do we fill this out?
This data collected each cycle, they can vary over.
That's correct. It's collected each cycle. Is it collected at the beginning of the cycle, the middle of the cycle, or the end of the cycle? Can anybody tell me what part of the cycle we enter this data?
At the start of the cycle.
That's Ngozi. Yes, Ngozi, you're quite correct. And it actually says it. Date saving started this cycle. Registered members when saving started this cycle. And then we have all the other information down here. And what did we call this part of it? If we had static data and cycle data, and then what did we call the rest of the data? Maybe I didn't make myself clear. Anybody want to take a guess?
Yeah, this is data which are collected regularly during the field visits.
Exactly, very good definition.
Something like data set?
Yeah, well, we call it the standard data. Okay.
Yeah, the standard.
This is because this data could change at every meeting. So this is what you collect on your scheduled data collection visits. Okay. And over on the right-hand side, we have here a worksheet. Can somebody tell me what the worksheet is for? What kind of, why do we have a separate worksheet? What's the reason?
The worksheet helps to do calculation, particularly on the number of shares and the value of loan outstanding, where you collect individual information and then you get the sum which you post them onto the other side of the data collection.
Go to the top of the class, Sabrina. You are a star student. Great. Yes, you see here we have 293 shares, and we have 273,000 in loans outstanding, and the value of one share is 1,000. So the total savings to date is 293,000, which we put in here. Value of savings this cycle, and we have 270,000 as the total value of loans outstanding, 270,000. And we have 10 loans, okay? So we count them just by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 10. So this worksheet just helps us to make sure that we've got our savings and loan calculations correct. Now at the bottom here we have another table. Can somebody tell me what this table here, let me enlarge it. Can somebody tell me what they think this table here is intended to do? Let me put it up on the screen properly. Why do we use this table and what does it do? Now, I told you in the last webinar that this was very important because what you're doing is you're not just collecting data from the group, you're giving something back. What are you giving back to the group? Can somebody other than Sabine give an answer? Yes, Kim.
Yes, in feed for safety calculation, that is.
It's a calculation, yeah?
Yes, that is country calculation from we will got a fee officer.
Well, what we've got here is we've got data, and at the bottom we have a figure. What is the last figure here? The 19,500. What does that represent? Come on, guys, let's be having you. Don't hide behind your microphones. Come on. What is this showing us?
We may need to ask people to say something. Maybe they're lost. I know, for example, Jean-Baptiste is gone because he's traveling, not gone as such, but he's out of network now.
Right.
I don't know about the others. They should say something so we know whether they're in or not.
All right, but let me ask you. I mean, come on, guys. What does this thing say? What does this table here at the bottom say? What is the title? Please read it to me.
Well, I have a couple of responses in chat from Timatope. You are giving information of the profit or loss made by the group, and from Sabina it says the profit.
Exactly, that's right. You're giving the profit or loss made by the group. It says profit or loss today. So this means that when you leave the group, you can tell the group how much money they've made, which is always of value or interest to them. It also helps us to identify if there are losses. So for example, if I said here that the savings was, if I said that the savings was 193,000, that would be 193,000, and I would have a big loss of 81,500. So you can use this to identify whether or not the group is losing money. And if it looks as if it's negative, the thing to do is to find out why. And the first thing is to check the quality of your data. Have you made a mistake or not? Okay. I consider this to be extremely important, and I would not accept a data collection form from a field officer where this was not filled out. because if it's not filled out, it means that the field officer has not given a report to the group about its financial situation. Okay, so what I've done is I have, if any questions about that before I move on, or any clarifications that you would like about the data collection form. This is just a revision from last week.
Here, I think you talked about this sometime, but could you please refresh my memory about the property, the value of the property now, the value of the property later? Do we still assume that the group members can understand the value of the property?
Well, they should be able to, because normally the value of the property, can somebody say how we know the value of the property? What is the value that we give to it? It's not something that the field officer guesses at. What do you think the group would say?
I think the value of the property is still going to be, they may still take it to be the value when they were actually, when they bought the property, say maybe a piece of land or something like that. But what if it has taken some time? That's my worry.
Sorry?
What if the property has spent some time? I'm assuming it should be, the value should be higher.
Well, this is the problem, you see. The difficulty is this, that if you start trying to change the value of property in line with market values, you could be you're just making a guess. So rather than make a guess, because you don't really know what it's worth unless you try to sell it, it's better just to stick to what you paid for it. Because when you finally do sell it, the cash that comes in and the value that has disappeared will reconcile themselves out. So don't try and change the value of property according to market values, because market values can change, okay? Just what you paid for it is the way to do it, okay? It's to keep it as simple as possible.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Robert. Right, I'm going to move on now. I'm going to actually move on to data entry. Now, what I have done is I have prepared for you an exercise, and on this exercise, I have taken the data collection forms and I have cut them into several different pages. On each page, I have shown the data for 4 groups. Okay, so this is page 1, and here we see Umoja, Chapakazi, Consolata A, and Bondeni. And then underneath you see the static data. Who was the person who trained the group? What was the date of first training? And what were the number of members? Then what I've done to make it even clearer, I've put data collected from a group at the start of the cycle. So this is your cycle data. And you see here we have cycle number, date saving started this cycle, group status, etc. So here we have all the data collected from a group at start of cycle. And all these groups are in cycle number 1. And then we have what I call data regularly collected from a group. This is your standard data, okay? And we only take it down this far because this is the data that is going to go into the computer, okay? So we have, on this page, we have 4 groups. And here we have 4. Here we have 4. Here we have 4, that's 16. And then we have 2 groups here, which means there are 18 groups for which we have data. So the exercise that I'm giving you is to enter the data on 18 groups. I wonder if, I think somebody has the microphone turned on. There's noise in the background. Could we all make sure our microphones are off? Ken, Fidel, your microphone is on. Okay, good. All right, now. Okay, so what I'm basically going to do is I sent you this piece of paper this morning, and I'm now going to go into the system and I'm going to show you how you enter data. Now, can somebody tell me, when I enter data into the system, do I enter the data as MIS administrator or project administrator?
As a project administrator.
That's correct, okay? you enter it as project administrator. So all of you have got the same MIS, but I'm going to go into my version of it. Okay, so here we are, mis.thesavix.org. Okay. Then I'm going to put PADMIN1, whoops, PADMIN1. This is going to be SMDP Online 1. And don't forget to click on it. Don't just leave it there like that. Click on it. And then you go 121212. That's the password I'm using. And that's the same password and username for all of you. So now I sign in. Now, when I sign in, I'm signed in, it says up here, Project Administrator. And this is SMDP Online 1, Maendeleo, Tanzania. All right. So I'm going to enter the data. Okay. All right. And it says there are no groups to display. So I click Add New Group. And the system then says Group Name. So what is the group name I'm going to enter? Starts with you.
Umoja.
Umoja, great, okay. Who trained the group? Who trained the group? If I click on this list here.
Joy Liza.
Sorry?
Joy Liza.
No, this is Umoja, looking on the list, the thing I sent to you today. It is Lillian Ndolu, okay? It's the one I sent to you today. It's the exercise, okay? And she is a group paid agent, okay? So the date of first training was 26/08/2018. Now you have to enter numbers in this format. You always use, for months and for days, you always use two numbers. So you can see for August, we put 08 and we put the full 2018. A number of members at creation of group is 21. And we're not doing latitude or longitude. And that's all we do to enter static data. Quite simple. So then I click Save. And then it will ask me, the group Umoja has been saved. Would you like to add a data set to this group? Now, you don't have to, because you can just register the group into the system. But normally, you would not enter data, you would not register a group unless you were entering data. So you would click on Add Dataset. Right, now when you do that, it takes you into two other tabs. You have cycle data and data set. So here's your static data that you've already entered. Here is your cycle data, and the stuff from the static data has been transferred. The group name is over there, and then we say cycle number. Well, this is cycle number 1. The date saving started this cycle is 30/08/2018. The group is supervised. You can choose supervised or self-managed, but we say supervised. Then it says group monitored by. It is still Lillian Ndolu. It hasn't changed. But the number of members has changed. It's gone from 21 to 23. Now, notice the date here is the 30th of August. Here is the 26th of August. What do you think happened between the 26th and the 30th of August? How come we are now 23? What happened in the last? Yes, Damus. Go ahead.
Is that me?
Yes, Robert, or either of you.
Okay, you can go first.
Okay, Damus, go ahead.
Yeah, may you repeat, please?
Yes, I said when the group was first registered on the 26th of August, they had 21 members. Now we are the 30th of August, 2018, and all of a sudden I have written 23. Why have I written 23? What happened in the last 4 days between that meeting, the first meeting, and this meeting?
Okay, from the day of the first training up to the day when the saving started, it means 2 members joined the group.
Correct. Okay. So then we have, now I'm going on to the next one. Savings reinvested at start of cycle, we have 0. Property at start of cycle, 0. Okay. Now, when we have finished the cycle data, you don't save it. You don't go up here and save it. You just carry on to the main data set. Okay. And so here we have 2709. So this is actually 1 month later. Okay. And we have 09 2018, 18. We have number of registered members now is 23. Number of registered women now is 19. Number of members attending this meeting is 21. And dropouts are 0. Right, now value of savings this cycle is 175,000. Value of loans outstanding is 165,000. Number of loans outstanding is 4. Write-offs this cycle is 0. Loan fund cash in the box is 12,500. Okay. Bank balance is 0. Social fund balance is 19,000. Property now is 0. External debts is 0. Dividends paid this cycle is 0. And is this an end of cycle share out meeting? No. Okay, so I click on the radio button. Okay. All right, so now I've finished entering the data. I'm going to save it. Okay, so now I have my first group. Now notice, on the left-hand side, the system has automatically given a number to this group. It's called Umoja. Okay, the system gives the number. You don't give the number. And if I wanted to change anything, I would click on it. Okay, and I could view the data sets here. So I would then click on Edit. And there's my data set. Okay, I'm going to cancel that. Okay, and I can go. Now. Let me just point something out to you. I have this group here, and if I click on it, it says View Data Sets. I have a data set. If I add new data for this group, I get another data set. If I add another data set, I get a third data set. So it all stacks up, and you see for each group, you have many data sets. Right, so I've entered data on the first group. I'm going to go on and I'm going to add data on the second group. But before I do that, I want to know if you have any questions. Okay, well, you're all very quiet. Okay, hope it's nice and straightforward. Okay, now I'm going to add a new group. Okay, now this group is called Chapakazi. Can anybody tell me who trained Chapakazi? Is anybody looking at the sheet I sent to you this morning?
Julia Majara.
Bravo, Ngoza. Okay, Julia Majara. So I click on here and notice the names I've got here. All these people are either field officers or village agents. You won't find the name of a supervisor, only a field officer or a village. So the one we want to click on is Julia Majara. And what's the date of first training? August 30th. Number of members, 15. Okay. Now I'm going to save. I'm going to add a data set. So now I'm on cycle data, cycle number 1. This is a 30 082018. It's still Julia Majara, it hasn't changed. And we have 15 members, same as we had at the creation of the group. No savings reinvested at start of cycle. No property at start of cycle. All right. Data set. This is going to be the first of October. Sorry, where am I? Sorry, I'm on. Yes, okay. 1st of October 2018, 2018. Number of registered members now is 14. Number of registered women now is 14.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Excuse me, please.
Yes.
Can you just, is it possible to just click on the calendar and you just get the date from there instead of just typing it?
Yes, of course you could. No problem at all. The only problem is, of course, that the further forward you go, you can use the calendar. I mean, you see here, I could have put, let's say, the 4th or the 3rd or the 1st, but very good comment. You can use the calendar. I'm just not used to using it. Very good.
Okay.
Number of members attending meeting was 2. Now, do you remember cycle data? We started off with 15 members, and we're saying we have 2 dropouts. Now, isn't that possible? We started with 15, we are now 14, but we have had 2 dropouts. Is that possible? I shall start asking individuals if you don't volunteer. Okay.
Would you say again, please?
Yes.
Possible.
We started off, if you remember, at the beginning of the cycle, we had 15 members, right? Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
We are now saying we are 14 members. In other words, in total, we are 1 less. But I have said here we have 2 dropouts. Is that possible?
Yeah, it is possible if 2 people left and then 1 came on board.
Exactly correct. Yeah, good point. Right. Now, value of savings this cycle, 223,500. Value of loans outstanding, 225,000. 6 loans, 0 write-offs, and 200 cash in box. Now, an interesting question here. We have savings of 223, but we have loans of 225. Is that possible? How is it possible that we have loans which are more valuable than savings? What do you think? Why do you think that might be possible? Where did that extra money come from?
Hello?
Yes, Sabrina?
I think the extra money comes from the loan repayment because there might be an interest end as well as there might be fine or penalty, so it's add up on that.
You're mostly right. The question is this. This is on the 1st of October, and the cycle started on the 30th of August. So maybe this is the first loans, and that extra money, that extra 1,700 came from fines, most likely, rather than loan repayments. Okay, but you're right. It could come from either source. Right. So then we have bank balance of 0, social fund balance of 12,000, property now of 0, and external debts of 0. Then we have dividends paid this cycle 0, and we have, it is not an end of cycle share out meeting. Okay, so now I'm going to save this, okay? I'm going to save it. Okay, so now I've entered 2 groups, and you can see that now this group has been given a number of 0002, okay, and so on and so on and so on. Now the exercise is for you to enter all 18 groups into the system. Okay?
Yes, 18?
Yes, Robert.
18.
Yes, 18. Let me show you.
Wow.
Yes, you want to get practice. So we're going to give you practice, and we want you to have some data to work with. And let me tell you, when I entered this data into the system, it took me about 1 hour. Okay, it's really quick once you get going. All right. All right. Now, data entry. Here's the assignment. Okay, so here we have 4 groups, 8 groups, 12 groups. Oh, sorry. No, that's not, I can't be right. There's something wrong here. Just a minute. Let me go back here. Okay. 4 groups. And unfortunately, I've left a space there, which is a bit unfortunate. Then we have 8 groups, 12 groups, 16, and 18 groups, okay? Now, if you are, but the most important thing here is not to rush this. The most important thing is to be careful. Now, here is the exercise. What I am going to do is I am going to enter all 18 groups into the system. So by tomorrow morning, all 18 groups will have had the data entered, okay? And I can assure you the data will be absolutely what you see on this piece of paper, okay? All right. Now, what you can then do is if you find when you go through it that your data is different to mine, you should very carefully go back over your groups to make sure that you end up with the same figures. Now, what do I mean by ending up with the same figures? Okay, well, let me show you what I'm talking about. All right. I go back in here. If I go now to Project Management Reports and I click on it and I click on Run, you will see here I have total members assisted by the program and total groups assisted by the program. Okay, so here you have the opportunity at least to check that your number of members and number of groups are correct. Okay. If you have any doubts, if there is any discrepancy, go through each one by one. Remember what I told you last week. Data collection is a major problem. There are usually a lot of inaccuracies in it, but also data transcription can be a problem where handwriting is not very clear and a data entry officer misinterprets numbers. So be very, very careful when you enter data and take your time, okay? Right, well, that's basically it. I would advise you not to start this exercise until tomorrow morning. Then you will be able to go in and you will be able to look at my MIS because I'm using the same username and password. It's SMDP1 it is SMDP Online 1, and it is PADMIN1 as the project administrator and 121212 to go in. So you can compare what you have done with what you can see, what I've done. It always helps if you have 2 screens on your computer so that you can move from one to the other. Okay, I'm going to stop at that point, and I'm going to say to you that I will be keeping a very close eye on this until next Monday, okay? And if you run into any difficulties, get in touch with either me or Andrew and do it preferably on Skype because Skype gets a much quicker response than going through email, okay? Just say, I need to talk to you. I've got a bit of a problem. Can you help solve it? And then very often we can talk it through. We can share screens and I can help you through any problems.
Hugh?
Yes.
I see from all the chat on the Zoom chat that people do not see the groups or the email that you have sent. So I think you need to
they don't
resend
have
it.
to worry. They don't have to worry because if they haven't seen it, they just go to Canvas. Okay, let me go to Canvas. I have it here somewhere. Okay, just a minute.
While he's looking, Fidel, can you hear me? And if so, Fidel, can you go to the chat box so I can ask you a question. Oh, there's Fidel. Fidel, I'm going to send you a message here.
Hello, Bill.
Hi, Fidel. I'm sending you.
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm sending you a chat message.
Okay, let me
Stand
check.
by.
Thanks.
Okay. That's a bit strange because I sent the email to two places. I sent it to your personal email, and I also sent it to your SMDP Online email. It went to both places this morning, so I'm not sure what's happened. I can resend it, but I think the best thing is for you to go onto Canvas to check it out. If you go to Canvas and you look at module and you go to module 4, you will find the assignment as the last item on the module. Maybe, Bill, you can share screens and you can show the last item on module 4. I can stop sharing screen now.
All right. So you can tell me if I'm showing the right thing here.
Okay.
Stand by here, everybody. Hold on a second, Hugh. I've got everybody's grades up here. I don't think everybody wants to see everyone else's grades, so stand by.
Let's go to student view and go to module 4 and go to the last item in module 4.
Everybody stand by. I'm sharing my screen. Inshallah. All right. Can you see my screen?
Not yet.
No?
No?
What are you seeing?
Nothing. I've just got all the tiles of each person's face.
Okay. See what people are saying here in the chat. People can go to your microphones and tell me if you're seeing the screen. It should say assignment data entry. Is anybody seeing that? Go ahead and tell me. Robert, you're seeing that?
Yes, I can see that.
Okay, good. So I assume everyone else can see that except for Hugh.
Yep.
Okay.
No, I can see it. I can see it. So if you go back, so people can see where to find it.
All right. So here we are at the main page of the course, and then we go to discussions. I'm sorry. Skip that. We go to modules, and then we go down to module 4, and then we go to the very last item, module 4, which is assignment data entry. And
that's it.
Here's the assignment, and it's described. And then the data sheet that you're talking about is right here, right, Hugh?
Yes, I believe so.
So if we
click on it, let's check it out.
And then all the data is here. All right, everybody see that?
No, just got a blank screen.
No, I'm not talking about Hugh. I'm talking about everyone else. Robert, do you see what I'm scrolling through here?
No, I don't. I think it's like a screen.
Oh, please move this window away from the shared application. Oh, I'm getting a strange message here.
Well, but I can see the assignment. I just went there and I saw the assignment.
Can you see it now?
No, not on your screen, but when I go to the assignment.
You could see it in Canvas, okay.
Yeah, I can see it in Canvas.
Your screen is being paused, resume share. Okay, how about now? Oh, I see. It doesn't allow me to go into an attachment. Interesting. This is something I did not know. It paused my sharing when I went into an so for some strange reason, it's not allowing me to share that. But if you go in, as Robert just said, you can go into Canvas and you can see the forms. They're here, actually here.
Yeah, we can now see the screen.
Yeah, you can't see it on my screen because for some reason or other, Canvas is not allowing me to open up a document and show it to you. But you can see it by going into the assignment yourself. Are people in the assignment? Not in Zoom, but just go over to Canvas, to My Courses, and go to this assignment. It's Module 4, Assignment 1. So we're looking at the screen here. Oops. Module. If anybody else is able to, besides Robert, is able to get in here and see it, go to Assignment, and then you either go to this link or this link, and you'll find it. So if anybody can let me know if you're seeing that, that'd be great.
Great.
Or if you can just open the whole document from just below, there is another attachment showing data entry.
You mean down here?
And then down.
Down? Can't go any further than that. That's the end of the form.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay.
Down.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to let me open it up. Let me try. There's somehow it's blocking.
You could try saving the file, Bill, and then opening it up.
Yeah.
All right.
There we are.
Oh, open up somewhere else. Yeah, it's got some kind of a protection that does not allow me to. All right, so save file. All right, let's try another type of share here.
The main thing is that if people can actually open it up and see it, maybe you've just got a particular problem. Let me try on my side. Okay.
Yep. Sorry.
Okay, sure. I just need to get into it. Hold on a second. Right. Dropbox.
So Sabina can see it in Canvas. Just checking through the. It's not easy to get to the contribution now. You're very good, appreciated. All right. Sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. So it would also be over there in Dropbox too, right, Hugh?
Yeah, I'm just checking that it's I can open it from where I am. Oh, I don't see you guys anymore. Don't know what's happened. Okay. Where are we?
I can see you.
Right.
Oh, you can. Okay, good. I'm just logging in again.
I just found it. So I think it should be all right to see. I'll share my screen right now. All right, you guys can see that, right? It says initial.
Yeah, we can see it.
Uh-oh, this is the wrong one. No, maybe it's not. No, this is the right one. I think everybody can see what you're talking about, Hugh.
I hope so. I don't know if anybody can see my screen. I don't think they can actually right now.
Yeah, my screen is up with the document now. I just took it out of Dropbox, so.
Yeah, that's okay. I can see it now.
Perfect. Okay.
Actually, I've just gone on to the assignment data entry, and I've clicked on it, and I have no trouble, and it opens immediately.
Yeah, the thing is, it doesn't open in. There's some type of prohibition within within Canvas that doesn't allow you to open outside files into Canvas.
Well, actually, it's not true. I've just done it.
Are you sharing your screen with everybody?
I don't know. Can anybody see my screen?
Okay, go ahead and share your screen and see if you can open the document.
Just a second. I need to figure out
as long as you guys are seeing it, then Ken can see it. So
can anybody see my screen? Because all I see now is you, Bill. Could you hand over to me?
I did.
Oh, did you? Now all I've got is a big fat picture of you. And no way of moving to do anything with it. Okay. We need multiple tiles on the screen, and they've all gone down to one all of a sudden.
Then go up to speaker view in the top right, Hugh. Very top right of your screen. It says speaker view.
And nothing. It's just a big fat picture of me and you. Whoever's gets
All right,
up there,
well,
Andrew's giggled and so his name is Don't worry about that.
I think
Okay.
the bottom line is that people can access the, they can find it. Either they can find it on the Canvas page, or they got the one that you sent them. So I think we're in good shape.
Okay, well, what I'm going to do, Bill, immediately after this online session, is I will resend it to everybody's personal email and to their Canvas email, okay? I'll do it again just to make sure everybody's got it, okay?
Perfect.
But it is available on Canvas. It's the last item at the bottom. You click on it, you click on the URL, it opens. There's no problem. At least I haven't had a problem. Okay. Has anybody else been able to open it to confirm that there's no problem?
Yes, so we have several people who say they can open it. Kinkin says that she can open it. It's like Fidel can open it. Sabina saw it in Canvas. She can see it. So I think we're in good shape, Hugh.
Okay,
all right,
good.
everyone. So without further ado, because we're already actually at our 1 hour point, or almost the 1 hour point, we started 8 minutes late. Just so everyone is reminded, is you're going to see, yeah, Robert can open it, Sabina can open it, so we're in good shape. We're going to be sending out the notice for next Monday's webinar. Same time, same place. We'll be moving forward in Module 5 into November. So be pretty exciting. Everybody stick with us. As I said, your grades are being updated, so don't worry about your grades quite yet. By the end of the week, everybody's grades should be caught up to date. Andrew and I are going to work on that this week. And we have a little problem to solve with some particular issue, but we'll sort that out. But otherwise, really appreciate that everybody is keeping with the course and keeping going on everything. And those of you that joined us late, such as Inez, or that's Zawadi. Who else joined us late? Abby joined us late. And I think that's about it. We have the recording will be up in a little while. I'll probably have it up within 2 or 3 hours. There is no PowerPoint today, so you won't be looking at any PowerPoint. And the most important thing is to go do the assignment and use the data sheets that Hugh has sent you. So,
well, could I just make a point? The date for this assignment is the 29th. That's a week from today. Okay. The way we're going to be marking it is very simple. You're going to start off with 15 points. Okay, that's the default. So if you make no mistakes, you get 15 points. But if you make 2 mistakes, you get 13 points. If you make 4 mistakes, you get 11 points. So your points are going to be awarded according to the lack of mistakes. Okay.
which is just like it usually is.
Well, not really, no. Well, I suppose so, yeah, but this is specific. You make a mistake, like instead of 21 people, you put 19 or 22. Sorry, there goes a mark.
Yep.
So make as few mistakes as possible.
All right, everybody, have a great week.
Excuse me,
good luck.
Bill.
Keep up to date. Yes, Andrew, sorry, go ahead.
You said something about the dates. I didn't get that. You said 29th?
29th of October is the closing date for completing the assignment.
It's today.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. The 4th of November.
4th of November.
From the 29th to the 4th. You've got a week. My mistake. Sorry. Thanks a lot.
All right, everyone. This officially ends the broadcast, and we'll be seeing you in 1 week. And please let Hugh or Andrew know if you have any problems. And otherwise, take care. Good to see everyone.
Bye, Hugh. Bye, Bill. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Just be the same.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.